General Sadakaji, please don't go very far as we move to our next story. To the United States, where New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has said he had a productive meeting with US President Donald Trump at the White House, discussing issues including housing and student detentions by federal immigration authorities. It was the second meeting between them since Mamdani's mayoral election win late last year. Mamdani said he raised concerns with Trump about the detention of Columbia University student Elmina Aghayeva from Azerbaijan by the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and that Trump later informed him she will be released imminently. The Federal Homeland Security Department subsequently said it freed Aghayeva and launched removal proceedings against her. In their first meeting, Trump and Mamdani spoke about bringing down the price of housing. Making housing more affordable has been one of Trump's pledges ahead of the midterm elections in late 2026, as prices for housing remain significantly higher than they were a few years ago. Cost of living and affordability were also issues at the heart of Mamdani's mayoral victory. And now back to our guest, Major General Sadakaji, who is a senior geopolitical and strategic defence expert. Major General, both of these leaders come from very different ideological backgrounds and they have publicly clashed before, but they've been able to perhaps work together on some issues such as affordability, housing. How do you believe that these political incentives, like Trump's midterm strategy, Mamdani's city building agenda, how do they shape substantive policy negotiations versus just performative cooperation?
Yes, very interesting question. First and foremost, our viewers would do well to understand that Mamdani is a Democrat and Trump is a Republican. Now, in spite of all differences in opinion and outlook, the new mayor of New York has put his finger on the right issue. That's how he is actually won with thumping majority. The central concern of the inhabitants of New York City today is actually the housing. The housing rates are so high. In fact, the vendors and the contractors are finding it difficult to get the labor at a reasonable rate for construction activities because Donald Trump has come down heavily on the immigration and the Customs Department has come down very heavily on the illegal immigrants. The illegal immigrants are basically the worker class or the labor class who are not available to contribute towards the construction work. So what happens? What happens to the construction department or the construction people who are involved in the construction? When the workers are not available, how can you actually increase the number of housing projects? So that is the moot question which they have to mutually decide, and Donald Trump may have to scale down his countermeasures against the immigrants, number one. Number two, as far as the funding is concerned, New York City is known to have maximum kinds of taxation on the housing project, taxation, electricity, water, etc., etc. That can be taken care of by mutual agreement. But the fact remains that the people are finding it very difficult. Many people I have come across, I have met them also, they have started shifting their bases to London, to Europe, European countries, to Middle East, etc., because it is becoming highly unaffordable to stay in a city like New York today. So therefore, it would do well that some kind of a thought-through approach and countermeasure be applied, which is acceptable to Donald Trump and his dispensation, as also Mamdani. And third and last thing is that conversation and communication is of paramount importance. It's good that both the leaders, that is the mayor of New York and Donald Trump, they connect well with each other. Donald Trump, in fact, this is the silver lining as far as Donald Trump is concerned. He has understood. There is some cross-talking, Ruby. You may have to tell your technical section to, address the issue. Otherwise, during conversation, this technical conversation can divert the attention of the speaker. So what I'm coming to is that these two leaders, they have come to a common thread of each other's likes and dislikes. So both of them have come to a kind of a platform of convergence with regard to the needs of the people of New York. This is called as a kind of a bipartisan kind of a response matrix and without any parochial leanings. And this is where is the silver lining of Donald Trump is concerned, regardless of the party affiliations. And I think in times ahead, both of them will be playing tango, and Mamdani will have a greater say and his viability as the new leader of the New York City. Back to you, Ruby.
Major General Sadakaji, thank you so much for joining us today. Pleasure to have you on the show. Now, moving to our next story, ousted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has asked a US federal judge